Alrighty, hello guys. This is Alan recording a second video for his top 10 Mythic run, and yeah, we'll fire off some more Premier Draft Strixhaven. Might only record one draft here since I'm kind of busy, but I made it to I think I'm close to Diamond Tier 4. I mean Tier 3. But overall, just very busy, so I'm not gonna have too many videos, but at the same time I think I should be able to hit the top 10 Mythic by this month at the rate I'm going. So hopefully I can make a nice 7 win video here and then get to at least tier 3 or tier 2 diamond, and then the next following day after work I'll be able to hopefully then make it to Mythic. But you know, overall, I've been quite impressed by White at the Mythic ranking. The Silver Quill decks have definitely overperformed a lot better than the ramp decks. I think it's because aggro usually is just a more consistent approach in Limited. So pack one, pick one. Speaking of aggro, there's a Silver Quill command. The more open choice will be the Devouring Tendrils. Illuminate History is a fine lesson. Snakeskin Veil is also fine, but I wouldn't take it over any of these two. At common, there's a Quandrix Pledge Mage, which is also really good. So the question is, do we just force Silver Quill, or do we just take the good removal spell here? I mean, this is just really powerful, right? You pump a creature, give it +3/+3, make them sack a creature, draw a card, and you return a creature from your hand, from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's just already a powerful 2-for-1. And you know, at the highest Mythic rankings, the top players just seem to be forcing Silver Quill all day. So I can think of this kind of as like a Killian in a sense, and we could just take a 2-color card instead of taking the Devouring Tendrils, which I would take over Quandrix Pledge Mage. So you know what, let's just force Silver Quill. In Friday Night Magic, I would probably have more fun and take the Devouring Tendrils here, but let's just force Silver Quill. And can we force Silver Quill? Unfortunately, no great Silver Quill cards here, not even a single Guiding Voice. So had we taken the Devouring Tendrils, we'd be taking a Bookworm here, which would have been a nice, powerful follow-up. But it's the best card in this pack, so I might as well take it. So now I guess we'll still have two different directions. We can either be in some sort of a green ramp deck, or we can still end up in Silver Quill, or we can still end up Witherbloom splashing Silver Quill command, which can be kind of fun. But definitely going to take the Bookworm here as the best card. Ooh, Harness Infinity and Heated Debate. What is this? I mean, if there's ever a time to have fun and draft a Witherbloom deck, it's probably just going to be now, since I was just past the Harness Infinity. Wish I got the Devouring Tendrils, but I'm hoping I can make up for it by maybe picking up some good removal later, since the person to my right doesn't seem to want to be drafting Witherbloom, and we can take advantage of this. And again, we can still splash the Silver Quill command. Otherwise, we'd be looking at like Heated Debate here, which I would probably take over Pest Something still. But yeah, Harnessed Infinity is a pretty fun card. Let's do it. 2 7-drops. We just need more ramp, and we'll take Dina as our grade 2-drop. Also, Wind Mine Containment Breach or Spectre Offense here. But it's definitely a good sign that the person on my right doesn't want to draft Witherbloom, so we'll just take all the picks here and reward him for forcing his archetype, and then he'll reward us for sticking to Witherbloom and reading the signs. But had we take Devouring Tendrils, it would be way better than the Silver Quill command. So Harness Infinity and Bookworm. This is sweet. Haven't drafted this archetype yet. I mean, I did draft Witherbloom, but I haven't drafted like the ramp Witherbloom deck, which is trying to be more controlling and making it to the late game. Because usually the Witherbloom decks tend to get outvalued, whereas the Quandrix deck, I mean, they tend to get more outvalued with the they tend to get outvalued facing against the Quandrix decks, because they don't have a ton of card draw. But with a card like Harness Infinity, we can just get back all of our cards, which is great. Here I'll take Quandrix Pledge Mage. It's a pretty good 3-drop, great in any green deck. And then hopefully we can pick up enough fixing to enable this. But Fortifying Draw would also be nice. But not going to take over Quandrix Pledge Mage, the best Pledge Mage in this set. So I might consider splashing this, but I'll put it in the sideboard for now. And woo, Necro Blossom Snarl, but there's also Silver Quill Campus. I mean, I did state that the Silver Quill command is something we might splash for. Maybe I just go for it here and then hopefully we pick up Witherbloom Campus later. This will be a nice land for going straight up Witherbloom, but the Silver Quill command is kind of fun, so I think I'll take the Silver Quill Campus here and maybe attempt to splash it. Maybe end up some sort of Abzan based ramp deck, which can be kind of awesome. So field trips and emergent sequences would be pretty amazing in this type of deck. But if Witherbloom is open for my right hand side, I'll get rewarded with the Witherbloom Campuses anyway, so I might as well take the fixing to maybe enable this, which is still pretty strong. Like turn 3 Quandrix Pledge Mage, cast a Silver Quill command, give this +3/+3 flying, or return like Dina, or there's just so much potential with this Silver Quill command. It's just really gross. Okay, this pack sucks. Not even a big fan of the Motoring Karok, to be honest. I think I'll just take a medium 2-drop here. There's also late Mentor's Guidance, but after taking all these black-green cards, I think we're just going to stick with Witherbloom. Just take the medium 2-drop so we can curve out with it. Motoring Karok is not very good. There's usually just better 4-drops in the Witherbloom decks that are just better, like the Professor of Anatomy or Symbology. Forgot what it is. Professor of the one that makes a 1/1 pest. Symbology is the white one. The green one is Professor of like Anatomy, I think. Not sure. But we can definitely expect some long grindy games with this Harness Infinity and Bookworm at the top end. But ramp can definitely help. The wall could also help. Mage Hunter's Onslaught is also fine. Don't think we're gonna Weather the Storm. Like there's a combo with the Cauldron where you can just gain a ton of life, cast Weather the Storm, and then activate the Cauldron to mill the opponent out. But I think that's too much of a stretch. Mage Hunter is a perfectly reasonable 4-drop for this type of deck. And we'll take a Blood Researcher. Snakeskin Veil is also great. Hoping I can get one later, but Blood Researcher is just too important to have in these decks. So we definitely have some great life gain payoffs. So hopefully if we pick up more life gain, that would be great. Essence Infusion, however, only triggers life gain for 1 turn, but I'll happily play a second Blood Researcher. Might even abandon this Quandrix Pledge Mage if it's a little bit too steep. And here, speaking of life gain, I could use 1 copy of Infuse with Vitality as a fine combat trick. Definitely better than Deadly Brew and Rush to Rebirth. The more weaker cards, I guess these cards are the more questionables now. And wow, we wield a Fortifying Draught. That's great. The person to my right is definitely sending me a strong signal that I should just get out of his lane and draft Witherbloom. Ooh, what's this? Growth Spiral? But no, it's probably just a field trip here. As much as I like Rise of Exodus on turn 6, I definitely need some ramp if I'm to cast Harness Infinity and Bookworm in this type of deck. What else is there? There's Leech Fanatic and Inkling Summoning. Probably Leech Fanatic is the only card I can expect to wield. The best card in this pack is by far Igneous Inspiration. Rise of Exodus is great, but again, I think we need ramp to hit our top end cards. Otherwise, we'll be drafting all these expensive cards and they won't be doing anything. As much as I love Rise of Exodus, I think the field trip is still the pick here. Another Igneous Inspiration. Wow, they never end. There's Inkling Summoning as a fine lesson, but there's also just Mage Hunter's Onslaught we could take here. Inkling Summoning is going to be a little bit harder to cast in this type of deck if we don't have the fixing. It does play well to field trip, but I'd rather have Pest, I guess, in the Witherbloom deck. So why not just take a Mage Hunter's Onslaught as a fine removal spell, and then just play a consistent curve out Witherbloom deck and not worry too much. This is a funny card, but the real actual pick here is probably just Overgrown Arch as a constant way to generate life and also learn. I don't even know if I wouldn't even play this in Witherbloom, to be honest. Like, I'd rather just play the Restorative Outburst half in the Quandrix deck. But Overgrown Arch is going to go a long way, especially with all these Blood Researchers, and I'm hoping I can get a Lash of Mouse later. But Overgrown Arch is just too good here. And a second Overgrown Arch, why not? That's even more busted. Nothing else I would even consider. Maybe Tenured Innkeeper can be a fine way to trigger life gain, but at 5 mana, that's kind of steep. Another 4/5 redraw, but Cram Session looks great here. Nice 2-mana way to learn, also gains me some life. And nice value if we pick up more learn cards, which we currently don't, but I'll take a cram session. Plays pretty good in these Witherbloom decks. So these are the more questionable cards. Like, splashing for this is good, but it's not like busted or broken or anything. We could still just draft straight up Witherbloom this night. I don't even think this card is that great. It sure can handle fractal tokens, but it's also kind of bad with your own 2-drops. The pick here might just be the Springmane Servant as a fine way to gain a little bit of life. Might actually be better than the Quandrix Pledge Mage, believe it or not, in this type of deck. Because it seems like we have a bunch of permanents in this deck and not too much instances and sorceries, unlike the Quandrix and the Quandrix and Prismari decks. So this is a type of 3-drop that seems actually pretty good in this archetype. So we could have had a Devouring Tendrils, pack 1, pick 1, but kind of got greedy and decided that we could instead force Silverquill, and we got punished. But hopefully we can make up for it by knowing our place in this draft. So we definitely have some heavy life gain synergies. Rush Rebirth isn't really that good, since it just gets you a smaller creature, which isn't great. I don't mind a Leyline Invocation just to have something on turn 6. So we have something on turn 6, turn 7, and turn 8. And then I'm hoping I can pick up more field trips later. But yeah, Rush Rebirth just isn't great. Seems worse than Infused with Vitality. There's also Professor's Warning, but I'm hoping I can pick up that later. And I'll take an Introduction to Prophecy as finally a lesson we can grab from the sideboard. Seems fine. We have 4 ways to learn, not even a single lesson yet. So someone's eating up our pest tokens. Leech Fanatic is a perfectly fine 2-drop. Don't think I'll be playing Reckless Amplimancer, but these two are still a consideration. But anything that gains life is really strong in this deck, so definitely need to be on the lookout for those. And I guess the Rise of Exodus gets worse since we don't even have that many lessons, so Field Trip I think had to be the right pick. Hopefully I can get more Pest Summonings and Inkling Summonings in the next pack, since I do have a couple of Learn cards, but no really good lessons, unfortunately. Ooh, Culling Ritual even makes it. Not sure if I'll play it though. Seems more of a sideboard card against like hyper-aggressive decks. But it can still backfire since Witherbloom can be hyper-aggressive. Here, I think it's just a Mage Duel as a good removal spell. If we have more Pest tokens, Plumb the Forbidden would be okay. And I think pack 1, pick 1, I would just take the Mage Duel here. There's nothing exciting. This is a pretty bad pack. Blex? I actually might prefer to Field Trip over Blex. Like, Blex is better if we have more Pest tokens, but it's really pretty medium. Yeah, it might just be the second Field Trip. The second Mage Hunter's Onslaught would also be pretty good. We don't have that much removal as of right now. But it's still the second Field Trip, I think, because we desperately need ramp to get to the top end here. Like, otherwise, this portion seems a little bit awkward. A second Dina would also be nice, hoping that wheels. But I think we need the second Field Trip here over the Mage Hunter. But now, take a Mortality Spear as a great removal spell. Also wouldn't mind the Snakeskin Veil. But yeah, now we get to make up for passing that Mage Hunter's Onslaught by taking a Mortality Spear here. Ooh, Daemogoth Woe Eater. Might not even be that great in this type of deck, honestly. I mean, we can still cast it to keep it as a blocker second and draw a card, which could be reasonable. It triggers life gain for the Blood Researcher, so sure. Maybe it's reasonable including the Daemogoth Woe Eater, even though we're planning not to sacrifice anything to it because we have like 0 Pest Summonings. It could still be reasonable here. Could take a Witherbloom Pledge Mage at 5. I also wouldn't mind Expand Anatomy, but I think we need a 5-drop here, so we have a 5-drop, 6-drop, 7-drop, and 8-drop to curve into. I think it's just too important. It has great synergy too with the Blood Researcher, so I think I need to include this. And maybe we just don't even play the Quandrix Pledge Mage here or the Silver Quill Command. Our deck seems good enough. Just need some more lessons here, honestly. We can always just loot away lands, honestly, with the lesson. Okay, Devouring Tendrils, thank God. Jesus, could have had 2 copies, but now we finally get one. Yeah, almost thought I wouldn't have enough removal in this deck, but now this is the point where taking up lessons would be awesome. Since we pretty much have the configuration turned out already. I mean, even with not a ton of removal, we can eventually get to turn 7, cast Harness Infinity, and grab everything back. So it's actually not that bad after all. If we don't get a final card, I guess we'll just play the Quandrix Pledge Mage, or still maybe splash the Silver Quill Command. I mean, it's not unreasonable splashing the Silver Quill Command if you think about it, since we can also just fit in an extra campus in the deck. Otherwise, I don't think I need a second Wool Eater. Second Cram Session is not even that great since we don't have that much to that many lessons. So might just actually throw in the Silver Quill Command here with double campus now. And again, I do like the campus in the late game since it allows us to scry. As I say that, there's a second Dina. There's also Containment Breach, but Dina is just better. Maybe I can just cut the Leech Fanatic at this point instead. Yeah, maybe cutting the Leech Fanatic is fine, and we can just play double Dina, splash the Silver Quill Command, and throw in 1 Plains in the deck. Third Dina is a little bit steep, I think, though. And I think I want the Infuse Vitality. Could actually cut the Cram Session, but it's just such a nice way to gain life in this type of deck. I think triple Dina is overkill. 2 should be fine in this deck. We should be able to draw consistently. And then we'll just splash for the Silver Quill Command since I could use some campuses in the late game. Because without campuses, again, like we need some ways to scry in the late game, so it's actually reasonable splashing for this card. Even though it's the single splash card, like we can definitely make it happen, and then it can also just give us a nice land to scry into. Yeah, this looks like a pretty fun deck. I guess I probably don't need the Cram Session now that since I don't have too many learn, I can play double Infuse with Vitality instead. Almost the same thing, but at least we don't have to learn with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess now with only 4 ways to learn, we're great. We're still fine. And we can always use learn to loot away lands in the late game again. So let's see how many lessons. I think only 1 lesson. That's pretty abysmal. Someone was taking our pest summonings. How many learn? 4 seems fine. And then, I mean, we might not. Yeah, I mean, and then again, we can just sandbag lands all day just to eventually just loot away with them, and that's totally fine. Looking at the mana base, definitely heavily favoring green, so I could just cut 5, 6, 7. I think I definitely need 7 black sources in this deck, so I can go 9, 7 instead. Yeah, 9, 7 and that 1 extra plains for the Silver Quill Command. I can also forget about the plains and just hopefully top deck a Silver Quill Campus to eventually cast a Silver Quill Command. Maybe that's okay too. So then that means I can go 10 green and 7 black. Since it seems like this deck really needs green sources. Otherwise maybe 9-8 could be fine with 13 black. Yeah, maybe 9-8 is still fine here. And then hopefully we can just get a Silver Quill Campus and just cast it to splash the white half of this type of deck. Because we could use some black and white in the early game as well. So maybe 9-8 is still fine. But I don't hate 10-7 too. Because we might need to triple the 8 black sources as well just to cast Harness Infinity. So yeah, maybe this is okay. But this deck definitely seems really fun. Let's give this a shot. We have a reasonable amount of removal, a reasonable amount of threats, and we can always still just buy everything back, again, with the Harnessed Infinity in the late game. And double Field Trip helping us ramp really helps as well. I wish I had some more lessons though. So that would have been awesome if we could have picked up some pest summonings to learn with. But someone was taking them all. So pretty unfortunate, but so be it. Opening hand seems okay. It's not amazing. We have a 6-drop and a 7-drop. We're on the draw, but it could be fine if we pick up some 2-drops and try to curve out with this. It's not like the worst. We have a 2-drop and infuse to go along with Dina, maybe to maybe use as a removal spell. We'll try it. We can always cycle the Daemogoth Eater for a turn. Dina can maybe fight something. Just need a land 4 so I can play this, sack it, and then draw a card. I can also use this to get in for 7 and sack it the following turn. I would have to lose Dina though, but that could be okay. Guess I'll just attack and then keep up infuse. If he has Heated Debate, I'll just infuse this. Why not? Get some value, keep Dina around. You could also have a Burying Books, which can be a little bit annoying, because this hand is definitely land hungry. Yeah, he's probably holding on to like Burying Books or Arcane Subtraction, so I probably want to just sack the Daemogoth in this game. Or just a pop quiz. Overgrown Arch can be a cute combo. Yeah, but I think I just run out the Daemogoth Eater here. The question is, do I sack Dina? Maybe not, since the wall plus Dina can be a nice combo. But getting him for 7 is also really nice, we'll see. If he has like Burying Books, that would be kind of backbreaking. I hate to say it. Maybe it's fine sacking Daemogoth and just playing the slow grindy game where I just drain him with life all day, because now we have the Overgrown Arch, just really sweet. Although we need double green to keep up the combo, so that can be a little bit awkward. So if he taps this down, I'll just sack it. Archmage Emeritus, I think we need to fight that. To sack Dina or not. I mean, we get in for 7, but this is going to be a problem. You know what, let's just... So I can fight here, get in for 8. If not, I only get in for 2. I mean, I can get in for 3 at least, and I still draw a card, which isn't too bad. You know what, we can get Dina back, I think. So am I crazy enough to, I mean, I might get in damage over time, but you know what, let's get in for 7. We're not cowards. And I'll just stack Daemogoth Eater to turn after. We still get to draw a card. Might just Mage Hunters this. As much as I hate killing this, it's going to be a problem later, so let's just get rid of it now. Hopefully no giant elemental out of nowhere. As I say that, we see a giant elemental. Mortality Spirit seems good. Just top deck all the removal spells, get them back later. Oh, Velomac is lower hold. Yeah, good games. Yeah, even the Serpentine curve at 6. Yeah, this deck is just too greedy. Yeah, we're pretty much dead here. Missed too many land drops. Maybe I shouldn't have killed Zamone and just, again, saved my removal. Because I wasn't expecting him to just cast Velomac out of nowhere there. So maybe I should just consider saving it for something else and just play the creature instead. Okay, Overgrown Arch and Dina is a cute combo. I think we keep this because since we also have Field Trip to curve out with. I think we leave the Overgrown Arch so then the turn we cast Dina we can activate it. Here's our Silver Quill command. We still need a campus for it though. Arch first. Let's see a reject. Befuddler, okay. At least we can block this. And I think we block this. Otherwise we'll just take too much damage over time and that isn't great. Yeah, snap block here I think. I don't mind a shock, he's still 1 for 1-ing himself. Same with the square up. And we also have another wall to gain life with. It's kind of cute. Ooh, okay. Silver Quill Campus is great, but I still think we have to Field Trip here. And then we can set up the Silver Quill command later. We can cast Introduction into Dina. I might want to tap black as well, just so I can cast Dina as well. Imagine if I can Silver Quill command this, that would be so awesome. I can bring back the wall and make him sacrifice Befuddler. Blood Researcher into tapped land could be reasonable. I can also Introduction, get my land drop. Although I do have my land drop already. So maybe it's still fine playing it out like this. And that way I can still double spell or cast Silver Quill command next turn. We'll see. Hopefully he just taps out for a spell here. actually don't mind this. And then if he casts his environmental sciences, I'm also fine. And then we can play Silverquill command, make him sack this, bring back the wall. Or I can draw a card, which could also be pretty useful. But the wall is so nice with the Blood Researcher and Dina. Is this a mage duel, really? Okay, so now I guess bringing back the wall doesn't sound great. So maybe I'd rather just draw a card at this point. I mean, bringing back the 2-drop wall helps me block. But I might want to just draw a card. And this allows me to hit my land drop as well, so it's not that bad. And then we can like eventually end of turn cast Harness Infinity and get everything back, which can be kind of nutty. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so we can mage. So we could Introduction to Prophecy here and then Mage Hunter's Onslaught. I think I like that. Bookworm is great. Infuse is great. Do I just keep both of these? I think I do. Or yeah, you know what? Let's keep both of them. Could keep up Infuse here and just block and drain. And maybe save the Mage Hunter's Onslaught for something else. Or maybe just use it now. Could be reasonable. And I could also just double block since I have Harness Infinity. And I can also just eventually cast the Bookworm as well. Maybe, hopefully no combat trick, but it seems like it. Outburst, okay. I mean, it's not the worst. At least I prevent the damage from happening, and at least I get rid of this. It's not always the worst. But it's not great either. So if I cast Harness Infinity end of turn, I get a bunch of stuff back. The more reasonable play could just be Dina into Infuse of Vitality. If I cast Harness Infinity, it's just gonna have too many cards, but at least maybe I can get my land drop. Or maybe taking it slow is still fine, just cast Dina, cast Infuse, and take it from there. This way I can keep making him use his combat tricks. And dumb removal spells. Land off the top would be amazing. Yep, we just got land off the top into Bookworm now. Sure. Okay. That could be a problem. Mage Duel is great though. Sure. Maybe should have fought the flyer, but you know, 8 damage is a lot. Okay, just flyers all day. Okay, we can harness Infinity, and I could just play a 2-drop here, which could be fine. Although I'm forced to discard, so maybe it's fine just attacking them both and the turn cast Harness Infinity. And then we should be able to kill him, I think, if we can cast Harness Infinity and get everything back end of turn and just go from there. It's fine. You can put a counter, put me on the clock, but then I can just kill this and win the game. Yeah, I don't think he has a choice here. He has to go all in. But he's gonna play it safe instead. Okay. All right, and he played it safe. I mean, try beating this. Yeah, good luck. Okay, seems fine. Well, that was easy. Just cast Harness Infinity. Made a misplay of scrying. I was planning to do that block with the Mage Hunter and then use Fortifying Draught on it. But yep, misclicks happen. Seems okay. Need white mana for this, but we have Field Trip in the opening hand, so that's always a good sign. Is it another mirror match? Ooh, it is. Alright, alright. Need to find my campus. Still think I'm blocking this. Yeah, there's no reason not to block. Like, you could have a trick, but I don't really want to take a million and get free rolled here. Sure. Not the worst. Alright, Overgrown Arch seems good. Ooh, I like the campus. Do I want the Springbane Servant? Doesn't seem amazing. I think I'll bump the Springbane Servant. And then I could even just take 2 here and play the tap land. I can make him sack this and then bring Dina plus the wall. Which seems like a cute combo, so let's play land. And then I could just draw a card as well. Dina on the wall is a cute combo, but maybe drawing a card is just better at the end of the day. Yeah, let's just draw a card and then make him sack a 4/4. We have a lot of late game we want to draw towards, so this is fine. Like this Bookworm that I'm about to cast next turn, we'll say go. If I'm blocking and gaining a life for now, no need to sack it. Just gives me a good blocker against the 2/4. Sure. Probably don't want to attack, just stay back and keep up Infuse. Field Trip is excellent. Although I do want to keep up Infuse. You know what, I can always buy back the Bookworm, this is fine. Actually should have played the Pledge Mage first. Yeah, I should have played the Pledge Mage first, so I would have gained the extra life. So, me making dumb misplays. I think I'll keep land in hand to loot with the Overgrown Arch, and then we'll just say go. Sure. I guess I'll play as many of them as I want. Maybe see a removal spell here. You know what? Let's infuse it. I don't mind. I mean, if I give it one more life, does it matter? Yeah, I just want this to resolve. So I can just bring it back and then revive it end of turn. Fortifying Draught seems excellent. Yeah, we'll just say go and grow a giant blood researcher. Eventually just cast Harness Infinity and win the game. Sure. Harness Infinity, we'll keep that on top. Can always Harness Infinity end of turn, but it doesn't seem like any of these cards are great to Harness Infinity away. We'll just say go. This can grow quite large if he keeps attacking here. I can also just trade Bookworms, honestly. It's not that big of a deal. Sure. Yeah, I think he's screwed here. Like, this 22/22 is just too difficult to take out. And I also had Heart's Infinity to get everything back, so yeah, not bad for a Diamond tier 3 now. So the deck definitely can get there, but it needs to play those long grinding matches and stabilize. This seems fine. Want to leave the wall, of course. And then I guess Wall and Dedeno of Blood Researcher is excellent. Second green source would be awesome. And we got it, alright. So we basically have everything. And I can just keep this engine going to constantly drain him, so yeah, it's not going to be easy for my opponent to take out. I probably think this is a Burying Books, if I'm not mistaken. I can just play Springmane Servant. Yeah, let's move to combat here. It's probably a Burying Books. I don't mind getting this buried. He needs to eventually use it. Yeah, he's just bluffing. Yep. In that game, I missed so many land drops. It's just that if you don't have interaction for Blood Researcher early on, you're basically screwed. But I had Dina to constantly drain him as well. Alright, doesn't look great, but we do, if we get single black, Blood Researcher and Overgrown Arch is great, so I think I'll try it and risk it. Just need one black mana. Nope. Black mana off the top would be pretty insane. So are we doing it again, guys? Let's top deck Swamp. Cast Blood Researcher. Ooh, okay. Alright, he knows about it. I guess this Overgrown Arch isn't going to be effective after all. Imagine if I got my Swamp and I just casted it. Imagine if I got black. I mean, if he takes this, this implies he has removal for my Blood Researcher. He takes some Mage Hunters, and that's really surprising, given that it's single black. So he could have an answer to Blood Researcher. But this is a pretty insane combo. So we just got lucky, had to top deck the Black Source. Okay, I guess he had a removal for it anyways. So I could just sack this and get something else off the top. Like maybe a Dina. I can always do it end of turn. Not sure here. We can always do it next turn. We can gain a life, sack this. And then I guess I can sack this end of turn and get a 2-drop or something. Not sure. Maybe I still keep it around. Yeah, I think I'll keep it around. It's just so good with all the other synergistic pieces in this deck. Field Trip is awesome. Shouldn't have tapped like that, but whatever. He knows about the deck. So, pretty slow Silverquill deck. Eventually, I can just get to Harness Infinity and grab everything back, and we'd be in good shape. Sure. I'm also fine just taking 3 here. If he has a combat trick, maybe I'm gonna. If he's gonna just play this, then I'm gonna take 4, and I'll just keep up the Overgrown Arch. Because this giving me incremental life is still really powerful, so yeah, let's just take 4 for now. And we're just getting most of the life back anyways by constantly tapping this. And then we can cast Introduction to Prophecy and see where that leads us. We have a lot of good late game, Harness Infinity, Bookworm. Probably see a removal spell. Gambit. Very interesting. I guess I'll gain a life and put a land into my from the battlefield onto the battlefield. Get some value off there, and then guess I stay back. Surprised he didn't use it on my 7/7, which I think would have been the bigger threat, or he probably has a removal spell for it anyways. Maybe a closing statement end of turn. Yep. Alright, so I need to find some action here. And the land is not going to do it. Yep, bomb all the lands. Give me something good, please. Game, give me something good. Okay, that's a good one. That's a way to stabilize. Hopefully I don't have to shuffle them back with another field trip, because bombing the 2 lands here is really nice. Silver Quill Command, unfortunately can't cast it. Yeah, hopefully I don't get smorked by this. I just need removal for this to stabilize, and I should be alright. Maybe I do just get cheesed out this game. I have so much recursion, so much life gain. What's going on, game? Why are you treating me like this? Now an assistant, why? Why? Jeez, and he also has another Divine Gambit to put back on top of his library. Definitely not great here. Yeah, we're just gonna concede. We're just fighting badly, and we even bombed 2 lands, so it's just game over. Oh well. I mean, we're getting close to 7. Just need a couple more wins. I think we're 4-2 right now. That last game was severely unlucky. We bombed 2 lands, and we still couldn't seem to find a single spell off the top. Like, a removal spell would have went a long way. Harness Infinity, of course, would have went a long way. This hand, if I get a creature, could be alright. I think it could be fine if I get a creature here. I mean, we have all of our colors. Like Dina. Field Trip, that's really good. Don't mind this. Devouring Tendril seems too good here. As much as this could get something back, I still think Devouring Tendrils on the Archivist here seems reasonable, and I can also just attack for 5. This is a counter spell. I guess he can also kill his own guy in response. I guess I can give this Death Touch. That was a nice sequence of events. Maybe it's an Ether Helix. Ether Helix bouncing this, getting a card back can be pretty annoying. It's fine. Still think I attack for 5 here. Fortifying Draughts. I think I just leave with Mage Hunter. You could have a Divide by 0, so maybe... I mean, Mage Hunter's still fine. I want him to lose life if he casts a spell, so this is still okay. Guess he's just gonna scry end of turn. Doesn't even scry. Wow, what's going on? He's just giving me these free 2-for-1s. I could also Fortifying Draught. Yep, and we can now Fortifying Draught here. Awesome. Yeah, don't sleep on one-mana tricks, folks. They can definitely steal you some games. So I still have a long way to go. Even if I win the next 2 matches, we're still at Diamond Tier 3, but I mean, hopefully, I think maybe around the weekend I should be able to get to Mythic, and then try to get to top 10. But this deck is really good. Overgrown Arch. Maybe I'm hoping I can top deck a creature. Without a creature, this hand kind of sucks. But I still think with both of these removal spells and infuse, this could be fine. So we'll try it. And if we get Dina on turn 2, or at least the Blood Researcher, this hand is excellent. Probably holding on to a Study Break. Field Trip is excellent. That was a really nice pickup. Just all the value. You can't really turn 4 do nothing with a Lorehold deck. Otherwise, the grindier control decks will just outvalue you at the end of the day. Let's keep a black mana. Or should we? I don't know. It really depends. You know what? Let's just tap out. I don't know if this is worth it. Maybe it's not. Mage Hunter seems okay. I think I just want my lands here. Yeah, let's just grab some lands here. Just don't want to miss out my land drops. And we'll say go. And we definitely need double black too. But for now, this is fine. Quintorius we can just kill. I don't know if this is bait. Could be. Maybe it's better to just play a 6/6. Like, Quintorius is fine, but he has nothing to animate right now. And, you know, a 6/6 hits harder, so we'll just say go. Could see an Expel, maybe? He could be the more controlling variant. Could maybe see a Study Break. So do I Mage Hunter? He could have a bunch of pump tricks with this, which can be kind of annoying. I think I'm still fine Mage dueling the 2/4 here. He could also have Beaming Defiance, which could be kind of annoying. Yeah, you know what? I think I Mage Duel still. I can always respond with Mortality Spear if he gives this Indestructible. I guess I want to pay the 1 life. Yeah, this is fine. And then attacking for 7 here is good. If he has a trick, I guess it's a Study Break. I could take advantage of the Mortality Spear now, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, a 4-man Mortality Spear isn't really that bad either, so we'll just say go. Pass the turn. Hopefully no Expel on my 6/6. Brave Soul attacks. Okay. Okay. I think the Tendrils is fine here. Might even sack this Overgrown Arch just to loot away the land, which doesn't seem important at this point in the game. I mean, I do need 8 mana to play my Bookworms, so maybe I still hold on to it and take it slow. And it's also nice to have more lands with, whatchamacallit, do I just Mortality Spear here? I don't mind. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Blood Researcher is great. Move to combat. I still think I hold on to land because I just want to cast a Bookworm. But this is a pretty crazy combo too. Sure. Yeah, I think his deck is just too slow here. Do I block this? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. And he's just dead, yep. That's why Infuse is just way better than Deadly Brew and Rush Rebirth. It's just the extra life gain, the Death Touch, everything. So always take Infuse over over the other weird uncommons in Witherbloom. Alright, and currently 6-2, so hopefully we can get to 7, and then I can upload this video and hopefully celebrate. But I should be able to get the Mythic in like maybe 3 more days. And then once I get there, I can show off my rank 10 for the time being. Might even try to get to top 5 if that's possible. But just reaching Mythic early is just the easiest way to make it to top 10. And then you can just stop playing and then head back to Dumpster Mythic. Okay, hopefully this final boss can give us a free win. Okay, this is not a great hand. I need green mana. Can I function with this hand? I mean, as much as I like the Silverquill Campus, I think I need to mulligan this. You know what? This is the final boss. We're brave. Let's go. I mean, how hard is it to get 1 green mana, right? We have 8 sources of green. We can do this. Plus a Mage Hunter's Onslaught can kill something. And, you know, what's more enjoyable than keeping a Art Harness Infinity in the opening hand? We can even cast this on 4 if we have to. Come on, we can do this. Against an aggro deck. My green mana? Nope. Alright, we're going to take a beating for the time being. Hopefully he just passes, and he does. Okay. We could just survive, hopefully. Pass, please. Effigy, I guess I need to Hunter stat. Yeah, he's just going to sack his weakest creature. And that's not a good sign. But this is what I get for keeping greedy hands. Please give me my green source. No green, but at least we can play this command and make him sack a creature. To buy some time. I mean, he can get this back, but I do need to draw into some action here. And make it more likely that I end up drawing green, because if I can't get my green, I'm just dead. Please give me my green source. Green, please. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, let's just get delayed line invocation here. Otherwise, we'll just get run over. And hopefully we can pin up. Have enough life gain to survive. Do I block this if he attacks? I think I do. I can't take life forever, and with only 1 green, this is rough. So he probably has like an enthusiastic study or something. Double green is great, so now we can play Dina. And we can also play the Springwing Servant. And I also don't mind attacking for 6 now. Yeah, let's get aggressive. I'll trade for the 3-2 here. Could even see an Expel here. Ooh, Expel main deck. Sure. I'll trade for the 3-2. So a defensive Lorehold deck, pretty interesting. Ooh, Combat Professor, yeah, this 3-2 definitely needs to die. No reason not to trade. Land into Bookworm would be pretty insane, and we got it. You see, guys, you just have to believe. Just have to believe. I mean, the Pult Mulligan we didn't, but still, this is great. Could see a Guiding Voice on Combat Professor. I guess a Rise of Excess, yeah, that's bad news. That's bad, especially since we want to Harness Infinity and get everything back. I think I'll just attack with Dina, and if he blocks, I'll use Fortifying Draught, and then we can always Harness Infinity everything back. Yeah, I guess he makes our Harness Infinity weaker now, but that sucks. Might just cast Fortifying Draught, or maybe we just Field Trip and loot. Maybe that's fine. Or Introduction to Prophecy, which is also fine. Overgrown Arch seems pretty good. Do I need 2 of them though? Probably don't need 2 of them, but 1 of them seems fine. Especially with Dina. Yeah, we'll play the land out. So then we can cast Harness Infinity and grab everything back and loop it. That Rise of X has really hurt my Bookworm, since that was one of my main win conditions, but I can still maybe get in with a ton of life gain and just drain him out. Return Past Caller, gain back Rise of X. This is not a good sign. Yeah, that's definitely not a good sign. Can exile my wall, can exile another spell from my graveyard. So that's not looking great. Maybe we found our Arch Nemesis, and he's just here to take us out. Alright, we'll just attack. I mean, what can possibly go wrong, right? Opponent, what can possibly go wrong? Could actually use the Fortifying Draught now. Sure. And then, yeah, get in for while we can. I'll play land and then cast Harness Infinity. Once he tries to respond with the Rise of Exodus, I'll just Harness Infinity and buy everything back, so then he can't exile any of my spells. So in response, I'm just going to cast Harness Infinity. So he can't exile any of my spells. Yep. I can now Mage Hunter and make him sack a creature. I can even sack this and then buy it back with Silver Quill Command, but I don't think it's necessary. We should be fine. Mage Stool. So I guess I want a Silver Quill Command here. Use up my white mana while I can. I think he wants to stack the Past Caller here. Interesting, not stacking the Past Caller, okay. Guess then I'll cast the Mage Hunter. And then I can use the Field Trip here and loot. And then we can just start gaining life forever and outvaluing him. Learn is so powerful, just being able to bring creatures back. Ooh, a free Flame Painter, that needs to go. That is definitely a bomb that needs to go. I guess we can always Mage Duel and cast Fortifying Draught if he uses some sort of weird trick. So let's cast a Springmane Servant. I guess we want to intro first, right? Yeah, let's just do that. Dina seems pretty good as a way to drain him out. Don't mind Dina. Yeah, this deck is just nutty. And we'll keep a Fortifying Draught. Play double wall here, and yeah, good luck beating this opponent. I am the final boss, not you. And I can just drain him out with Dina, essentially. Does this opponent have like a million Rise to Exes or something? Ooh, Hoffrey. Okay, so I guess it's not game over yet. He can give the Spirit Haste. I don't mind trading for the haste. I mean, it could be reasonable. I can also just use Fortifying Draught to get rid of this. Don't think it's necessary. I mean, I could just take it. Yeah, I could just take it and swing back. And he's almost dead. Let's see, so if I use Overgrown Arch now, and I use it again, he's gonna force himself to have to trade Hoffrey. So I think I actually just take it here. I can also scry my upkeep, since I don't have any large creatures anymore, or large spells. I have a ton of lands. Yep. Ooh, Infuse is really good. That's very nice. Is this lethal 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, it's lethal V, so he has to block here. So I can just gain a ton of life and pump the Springmane Servant, so seems good. I don't think he has a shock, so I think I'm just going to go all in here with a Fortifying Draught and kill him. Yep, this is probably one of the most busted Witherbloom decks I've ever played. And yeah, we made it. Definitely not a tier 2 archetype. But yeah, Diamond tier rank 3 is nice. And yeah, I think I need to get some sleep now since I need to prepare for tomorrow. And trust me guys, I'll get the top 10 Mythic. Hoping you guys really enjoyed this video though, since I never really drafted a Harness Infinity Witherbloom deck. But yeah, it's definitely incredibly powerful. So this was definitely a nice treat since I've never played this busted card and I realize how great it is. But of course you need to already have a hyper synergistic Witherbloom deck. I think overall the core of your Witherbloom deck needs to be above average in order to leverage this. Otherwise you could still have a crappy Witherbloom deck, and then if you don't have enough ramp to get to Harness Infinity or enough early game and pressure, this is basically a dead card. So this Harness Infinity feels more like a win more card, since I think, I mean, overall it's not, I mean, it did save our butts in the last match, so I guess it's just a really powerful card that Witherbloom could also use. But yeah, not a bad deck, decent amount of interaction. Double Infuse was really powerful with Dina to bring back. Springmane Servant, also one copy of it, kind of helped us gain a little bit of life as well. Silverquill Command was a decent splash. Witherbloom Pledge Rage was a nice 5-drop, and yeah, a lot of great late game cards. So overall, I really love this deck a lot. I'm happy to showcase it. When at the start of the set, I would have just forced maybe like Quandrix and Silverquill, but now I've grown fond of the more weaker quote unquote guilds like the Lorehold and Witherbloom. Prismari, I think, might be the one that I hate the most now, since it's just kind of like somewhere in the middle. But it's really fun getting a Witherbloom deck to work sometimes, and then the Lorehold decks, and it being able to 7-0 with get 7 wins with a Lorehold deck also feels really fun. Since now I think I might value even Guiding Voice over Heated Debate and anything with Learn on it, basically. But anyways, yeah, this was a really fun match. I was quite surprised we almost got swept as well. And yeah, this was definitely a treat to include for my drafted top 10 Mythics. So let's claim our prize. And yep, let's just crack some packs here for fun. And then in a couple of days, I should be able to get the Mythic. Let's just open them all. Who cares? We don't have time. And wow, so much value just doing Strixhaven Premier Draft. I'm loving it. So we should be able to go infinite if we're careful here. And even got more gems. Pack one, pick one. Field Trip, Elemental Summoning, Fractal Summoning. I think it's more important to pick up the Learn card first, and then the Lessons. But one can argue the opposite. It's just like first picking like Professor Symbology or Rise to Vextus or Ignis Inspiration. Just to build learn with the card. Allows you to pick up, even more lessons that are, for example, colorless, like Expand Anatomy or, I don't know, Introduction to Annihilation or Environmental Sciences. So I always take the Learn card first, and I'll go for Field Trip here. It would be interesting, pack one, pick one, Field Trip, and Guiding Voice. I might take Guiding Voice now, given how strong white aggro is, but at the start of the set, I would have taken Field Trip, Snap Pick over Guiding Voice, but now I've grown to love maybe even Guiding Voice over Field Trip, knowing how efficient the white mana is, and white is actually pretty strong in this set. But that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Cheer for me as I try to attempt to draft more in the next couple of days and try to hit top 8 Mythic. But yeah, this was a really nice treat. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.